without fear. We should even be ashamed that in a nation where we have regulatory bodies for the Christian faith, it took a man that does not submit to Jesus to go and be shouting that miracle soap and River Jordan water is fake. Say you have read, Pastor, did you see on the news that some after NAFDAC came and said this thing is fake? Some people gathered in front of NAFDAC office. They say they are bishops.
Yes,
that NAFDAC does not have the authority to regulate spiritual products. They are bishops. They have opened office on people's head.
As you know.
You know why? The generation we have kills their products. So these modern day believers, they need something. They need their needs met. The only reason they are coming to God is that they have needs. And if peradventure God does not want to give them, they can go and get it from Satan.
I agree. In all of this preaching now, the only place I didn't quite agree with Pastor Kesiena is when he said he took a man who does not submit his life to Christ to point this thing out. How do we know that the man involved has not submitted his life to Christ? You know, forget the stubbornness and everything. He might be a full Christ-loving person. Although I don't agree with that man. Most times, we can't just look at him and say, okay, because like they like this, you know, submit your life to Christ. The reason I'm even doing this video is those pastors who went to gather in front of NAFDAC office. Those ones, now they're not even really they do me, you know. Every time when a pastor does something, all the pastors are supposed to counter it if it is wrong. But once they do, some people will say, preach the gospel. Don't attack your fellow pastors. You are forgetting that the gospel includes guiding the flock of Christ. So when there's a man who wants to lead the flock of Christ astray, it is the job of the other pastors to say, no, we can't let you do that. But once they talk, we Nigerians will chastise them for pointing out something that is wrong. In as much as most times I don't agree with Abel Damina, not even most times, a few times, I don't agree with Abel Damina. Abel Damina actually does a lot of correcting and checkmating for these pastors. Sometimes when they want crazy, they think, say, that guy will talk. But people blame Abel Damina for pointing at things that are obviously wrong. Now let's talk about the spiritual water that they say NAFDAC does not have the right to regulate. You see, when you go to church and your pastor gives you anointing oil, that anointing oil was not produced by the church. It's produced by a company called Goya. And then they have other companies too that produce this anointing oil. The anointing oil is first and foremost NAFDAC certified for physical usage. And then your pastors cannot pray any prayer they like on it, bless it and anything, and give it to you. So if you know you want to sell miracle water, use a NAFDAC certified one. You cannot pray any prayer you want to do on it or anything and give it to people, but let it be sealed as produced by the company. Because if there's somebody who drink one of this water and I can't get infection, we go blame government for allowing it to happen. But now government wants to regulate it. Some people think it's wrong for government to regulate it. It doesn't add up. And you see all those pastors that went to NAFDAC office to complain, they are not going there because they like fulfilling so much. They are going there because they do something similar. And they know say by the time NAFDAC shine their touch of fulfilling, it they come their own. So let them stop it now before it come their own. But they lie. They lie. This country will not continue to be a banana republic for some people to do any nonsense they like. Now, those of you saying that your borehole water for your compound, you drink it again. Now, listen to me. You can drink well water in your compound, and your problem with that. Our government is not big enough to start regulating what you eat in your house. But immediately, you see, you can bake bread from your oven in your house and eat it. It's fine. But immediately you start to sell it, there's a regulatory body because now you are giving other people. And those other people you are giving, the government is responsible for their upkeep and their well-being. So the government will checkmate you. What are you giving to my people? So you guys have to stop comparing that rubbish. Some things that happen in Nigeria can only happen in a madman's land and in a zoo. If you dare abroad, now many Nigerians, immediately they reach Europe, their prayer point they reduce. Because the things you pray for in Nigeria, normal person not supposed to pray for them. Now things so in man, if you do. God has already given you what it takes to do them. But instead of you to do them, you are stopping God to come and help you do them. Imagine saying you provide food for your son of 10 years, and instead of her to eat, he did their hunger, they finish him. They said, may they feed her. Is that not a stupid child? That's what we do in Nigeria. I've given you crude oil, I've given you bitumen, I've given you limestone, I've given you tar, I've given you cocoa, I've given you land, and you are still begging God for food. See them powerful church, not be say they won't worship God. They need help. They have a need. And if God doesn't give them, they don't really mind going to the devil.